Hi there, Dr. Karen. I am so excited that you're here with me today for the Internal Muscle Testing Masterclass webinar. Oh my gosh, I'm just like brimming with excitement. Can you tell? Can you tell? So some of you folks are new. We want to do a couple of things before we start. We want to do a sound check and a visual check. So if you can hear me, I would love for you to write in the chat. Yes, you can hear me. Yes. So that would be awesome. And if you can see my screen, that would be awesome as well. Let me know. So you should be seeing my my video right now. And by the way, while you're in the chat, go ahead and tell us where you're from. It'd be really exciting. The other thing is, hey, thank you so much, guys. We're going to actually put up the presentation now. So I'm going to again ask you if you can see the first slide. That would be awesome if you could let me know. Just say, can see slides, yes. Okay, fantastic. Wow, we got folks from all over the place. Pocatello, Idaho, is that how you say that? Pennsylvania, Australia, awesome, yay. Portugal, woo, yay. Alaska, excellent, excellent. Okay, so I've got a pretty fast internet connection here, so we should be good to go. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, that's great. I'm just looking at where everyone, South Carolina, very cool. Alabama, let's see, Chicago, Massachusetts. Nice. I said Pennsylvania, right? Florida, yes. Thank you. Bulgaria, woo, neato. Place I've not been yet. Tennessee, yay, awesome. Okay, New York, of course, New Jersey, Connecticut, Estonia, ooh, neato. You can tell the places I haven't been, right? Because I'm like, oh, neato. Colorado, another Texas, UK, Denmark, yay. Canada, woohoo. Waiting for my Canada folks here. South Africa, oh, fantastic. So what we're going to do is actually I'm going to turn off the camera part so you can see the slides because you don't need to see my face necessarily talking in the corner while the slides are going on. That'll also save some bandwidth as well. So I'm just going to turn that off. So you should still be able to see the slides. All right. Oh, fantastic. Great. So thanks everyone for putting that in the chat. All right, so this is getting recorded and this replay will be available for about 2 weeks after today for you to watch. And those of you that are in my Supercharge Your Healing Powers event and that you have your student portal, the pre-event accelerator training, that will actually be in your portal in a little bit. So you'll be able to access this indefinitely. All right, so let's get started. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm a best-selling author, healer, trainer, and mentor. And my goal for you is to help you gain more clarity, more joy, and more connectedness. So I work with highly sensitive souls. I call them light warriors from all over the world, helping them to hone their superpowers. And guess what? Your sensitivity is your superpowers, and we're going to do some of that today. Also to express your soul's mission and then to really experience joy in the process. For me, I went through a difficult road, as many of us healers do, being in that striving and never arriving. Maybe some of you can say in the chat if that was you too. So just the feeling like nothing was ever quite good enough. Like I would, get good grades and try to please my parents and try to please this person, that person. And it just wasn't enough. There was always a sense of, okay, I have to be better. I have to be better. I have to be better. I needed to be the best person, and then when I would fail, it would feel horrible. I remember 3 days I cried in my bed after I failed my first ARCT piano exam. So it's been difficult. And then I ended up with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome because guess what? I did not listen to my intuition. But I didn't really have a way of, really tapping in. I don't know. I just thought it was some mysterious thing that some people had and some people didn't, and that kind of thing. So, but lucky for me, that was a beautiful journey of recovery, and I get to be here with you today, sharing some of the wisdom that I've learned over the years to help people, and many of my light warriors, 600 whatever plus light warriors, help them gain more clarity in their lives, more joy, and more connectedness. So we're really working on the clarity piece today, so you can learn how to tap into that intuitive guidance to help you with decisions, with health, that kind of thing. And right at the end, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we can work more together, and about my event, Supercharge Your Healing Powers, coming up in September, and what we're going to be doing there. All right, so the purpose for today is to understand why having a reliable way to access your intuition is vitally important. Also, you're going to learn how to do this using this particular method, the internal muscle testing method. And you're going to learn how to do pre-tests before you muscle test a question that you want the answer to. So if you are trying to find out the answer, like would eating XYZ be for my highest and greatest good today, you should do these pre-tests just to make sure that that the energy is running correctly, so you get accurate answers. We're also going to just dive in just a little bit into the difference between two states where your energy system is not generally, balanced, and there's some reasons for that. That's called reverse polarity and proxying, and sensitive people do have a tendency to do either of those or both. And we'll, kind of touch on why. And then how to energetically correct reverse polarity, at least temporarily, so that you can muscle test. And then some of the uses of internal muscle testing. And so if folks on the chat, thank you so much. I know you're trying to help each other. Wow, we got people from Charleston, Greece, New Hampshire. Yay, that's awesome. So if you could type in the chat for me on my behalf, if folks cannot hear, they may wish to log out and log back in. So right now, we're actually going to do a little bit of a poll. I want to see where everyone is at. So we're going to start this poll. So we want to know how do you, if you do, reliably access your intuition, your inner guidance right now to get answers. Some people are clairaudient, which is really amazing. I have had rare occasions of that clairaudience, and I think some of my light warriors have had amazing spiritual awakenings where suddenly they can hear like guides talking, spirits talking. Not all spirits are good, however, but they can hear them talking. Those that are clairvoyant, now I'm sort of internally clairvoyant, meaning that I see pictures in my mind, which according to Doreen Virtue, who's a bigwig, angel lady, you may have heard of her. She's a Hay House author. She says the inner clairvoyance is just as valid as outer clairvoyance, but it's pretty cool to be able to see stuff in the outer as well as the inner. So I do aspire to that. Wow, we got some folks that are clairaudient, a big percentage definitely using muscle testing. The clairsentience, this is going to be really great for you today. This is a natural outcropping of what you already do really, really well, except we're going to teach you just a little bit of a twist. No, nobody said clairvoyant so far. Some folks use a pendulum, yep. And about 40% of you don't have a reliable way. Yeah, so this is going to be cool for you. And for those of you that do muscle test really well already, this will increase your accuracy using this technique. So I'm super, super excited. All right, so thanks everyone for doing the poll. All right, so we'll just publish those results so you can see what they are. Now, one of the myths that I grew up with is that some people are intuitive and some aren't. Now, granted, there are some people who use their intuition really well, so we say they are more intuitive, but honestly, all of us have that apparatus to be able to tap into our intuition. It's just that we were never trained on how to do that. right? Like, for example, when I was a little girl, and see if you've had anything like this in your past. You can go ahead and put it in the chat as well, any experiences like that. So when I was a little girl, I was told to sit on my, grandfather's lap. And I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. I didn't like him. One of my grandfathers, anyway, I didn't like him. But I was made to, I was forced to. Oh, come on, don't be so cold. Don't be so sit on his lap, right? And he was, he was kind, he was funny, but I just didn't trust him. There was something about him I didn't like. And at 3, 4 years old, you know what? You probably know something. Later on, many, many years later, I found out that he was doing some not so great things, but that 3-year-old knew, there was something off. And so that's that gut feeling. And you know what? We lose that because when we grow up, as children, we are told literally by our parents, teachers, etc., don't listen to your intuition. Don't listen. And then we lose that ability. So we're going to reclaim that for you today, which is really exciting. Thank you, everyone, for wonderful, wonderful comments. Very cool. Yeah, sometimes, so Tara's saying she gets bad feelings as well. It's interesting because Claire knowing, which I didn't put on the list necessarily, but Claire knowing is just knowing. When that intuition is that amazing, let's just say, you just know, that usually doesn't come with an emotional overlay. The emotional stuff comes after. But when you sense other people's stuff, that may or may not be intuition. So that can be really challenging, which is why sometimes it's really great to have a technique as a bridge between pure knowing, which I believe we're all going to get to, especially if we work at it as a group, as a collective, and just like not having anything. You know what I mean? So we have this bridge, and we're going to teach you one of those techniques today. Yes, Anya says, I have the knowing. That is wonderful, wonderful. And some telepaths there. Yes, I like that one way. The one-way telepathy is really easy when you talk to somebody, and I actually call that telepathy. Receiving is a little bit more challenging for most people, especially if they're not able to be quiet and know who is sending them what message. So why would you want to have a reliable, quick, reproducible method to access your divine intuition? Well, I have found that it saves people time. It saves people money, confusion, frustration, and from second guessing yourself. And I got to tell you, pain, because there was one. Well, I could tell you lots of stories, but I ended up being in business with this one doctor. And he was very charismatic, very friendly. He was saying all the right things. I really, would love a woman in my practice who did acupuncture. I'm really into this alternative medicine stuff. And, so he said all the right things. But there was a part of me that was hesitating. But I didn't have a way of figuring out why. So I just poo-pooed that. I was just like, oh, Karen, just, stick to your logic. You know what I mean? This is a really great opportunity. And my husband was also pushing me. How many of you actually have family members that sometimes push you in the direction opposite to your intuition, right? So we needed the money. So I signed up with him. And about a year or two later, well, maybe not quite 2 years, but I realized that he was not collecting money on the work that I was doing. So I was losing tens of thousands of dollars, and basically his staff was incompetent. They didn't know what they were doing. And he said they were. And when I left him, he was pissed. Excuse my language. He didn't understand. Narcissists don't. But anyway, he didn't understand why I left. I'm like, excuse me, really? But had I listened to that, I wouldn't have lost all that money, all that time, all that frustration. And wouldn't necessarily would have had to travel, outside of town to get these emergency locum tenens jobs and things like that. But it's all good because I get to tell the story to you today and to be here to show you this method. So let me give you a little bit of research first on intuition. There's a lot out there. I just picked a few just to share. The Institute of Heart Math actually posted a lot of these. So if you want to go to the Heart Math Institute, it's a great place to look for some of this data. So one of the things that they shared was this particular study where they were flashing pictures in front of people's eyes. And what they would do is they would have leads on the brain and on the heart to see if there was a shift prior to the picture being flashed up. And lo and behold, there was. It's like the body knew what was coming up, whether it was something life-affirming, beautiful, or something scary. Certainly, I wouldn't want to be in that particular group. But anyway, so the heart knew moments before the head knew, interestingly, what the picture was going to be. Now, here's the thing. It's not necessarily conscious, right? This is amazing research on that. We do have that sense. There's a part of us that does know, that senses it prior to whatever's going on in this case. But we don't necessarily have, in this particular study, they didn't talk about how, if people could guess it, could actually figure it out consciously. And that's what we're going to help share with you today, how to do that. Now, some of you already know about muscle testing, or what we call manual muscle testing. You might have seen it before, where, one person has an arm outstretched and another person is pressing down on the arm and checking to see if there's a muscle weakness, or is the muscle strong or locked. Now, they've done some studies on that as well. Dr. Goodhart here, I believe he's in the chiropractic realm. He did a lot on this, and what they found was it actually is valid, especially for the chiropractors doing manual muscle testing, to look for neurological, neuromusculoskeletal issues. In fact, my local chiropractor just started doing that, so I was kind of excited. I haven't seen him yet, but I was kind of excited that he started doing this. So you can literally see which muscles are weak, know which part of the spine to then, treat, and then get immediate feedback that it's better. So we do know that manual muscle testing is a valid form of knowing what's going on inside the body. And my friend, Dr. Bradley Nelson, creator of the Emotion Code and Body Code, now has thousands of therapists and healers all over the world doing his technique. All of this is based on the ability to do muscle testing, and at a distance. That's called self-muscle testing. So what happens is that if you have a client, we'll take Greece, for example. If I have a client in Greece, what I would do is I would end up proxying for that person, and that means that I'm going to be her for that moment, for the time we are in the session. Then I will muscle test on my own body. There are many different ways, and we're not going to go through those today. That's in some other courses. So you can manual muscle test on her behalf to get the answers, yes or no, which imbalances are causing and contributing to anything. It could be what's causing and contributing to depression, what's causing or contributing to this tumor, what's causing and contributing to chronic headaches, anything. And the body code is a whole system of basically yes, no answers. And it's like 231 pages or something of answers. You yes, no, and yes, no. And you can figure out what's going on with the body. Is it a parasite? Is it a fungal infection? Is it that you need water? You're not hydrating? Is your water bad? I mean, how happy is your liver? All this kind of stuff. Amazing, amazing work based on this technique. So thousands and thousands of people have been doing this. Many have been certified, and they have a huge amount of research data as to before and afters. Before doing the work, after the work, what the change has been, real life changes for real life people. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the Emotion Code, Dr. Bradley has given me permission to give you this link. I've just pretty linked it here so it's easier. So if somebody could type that in for me in the chat, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. So it's KarenCan.com/emotion code book. You can get a free copy of his entire Emotion Code book PDF on PDF. Learn some of the other self-muscle testing techniques that we're not going to cover today, and learn to do the Emotion Code immediately, and he has a webinar too that you can sign up for. So lots of data regarding muscle testing. Now, I just want to share with you a little story about how effective it can be to learn the skill. Lloyd's one of my VIP members. He already knew how to do the pendulum. He learned some manual muscle testing from me in one of our programs, and he said, oh my gosh, it's so much faster. So in addition to, what he already knew, he actually used our healing technique that I co-created called the Topocan Healing Method. And together with our Light Warriors, he asked for help. We have a weekly prayer healing group session. So everybody puts on what they want to heal in there, and then everyone sends, energies, healing energies to each other. He basically told us that his cat had a tumor, wasn't doing well. He started doing, using the muscle testing, Topocan healing, figuring out what's wrong with the cat, doing healings on the cat. And then right before they saw the vet again, did the group healing, please heal my cat, request in there. And they went to see the vet, and the cat was doing much better. I was able even to catch a mouse, which she hadn't done in a while. And the vet said, wow, I can't find the tumor. So cool. Thank you so much, folks, for Mary and Alexandra putting the link in. Yeah, so awesome, Lloyd. So uses and benefits of muscle testing. Well, it can help you make healthcare choices, such as, what's the most optimal diet for my body right now? Which doctors are for the highest and greatest good. We actually do a light score. We teach my light warriors do a light score on the doctors. The higher the light score, or the higher light path score, the higher the chances are you're going to have a good experience with that particular doctor. You can also check therapies. Sometimes people need different therapies, like sometimes a supplement, or sometimes, acupuncture may be helpful, or, energy healing, something like that. You can also find out whether a certain course of action is for your highest good. Like I had one of my quote unquote indigo kids, decide on a college, and so I taught him a method of how to do that without necessarily visiting all 5 colleges. And we're going to be teaching this particular method, which is this offshoot of what we're teaching today. We're going to be teaching that in the Supercharged Healing Powers event in September. You can also figure out, like I said before, the causes and contributors of symptoms. The body code emotion codes are one way of doing it. I have my own way of doing it, which is more sort of spiritual, energetic, foundational stuff, but it's all good. There's so many different systems out there that use muscle testing, which is very, very, very helpful. You can just get clarity, it's simple yes or no answer. And then it gets your ego out of the way, because our ego causes us to have emotions, and it's trying to protect us, and then we get scared, and then we don't know, is the scared intuition, or is it not intuition? Most of the time it's not. So it can be really confusing. And so by using muscle testing, it minimizes kind of emotion-based answers. Now, the old way, of course, is, using one person putting pressure on another person's arm. That's called manual muscle testing. And then there's self-muscle testing, which you can do on your body. There's the sway test, and there are ones that you can do with your hands. So it uses your body. And it's very simple technique using yes and no, but not everyone can do it, which is why we're here today, to show you a different way. And the nice thing is, as you practice any form of muscle testing, that your connection to your divine knowing actually gets stronger, and that's a huge benefit. Now, the downsides of manual muscle testing, of course, is that, guess what? You actually have to have your muscles working. So there are some really, really sensitives out there, my little star seeds, the ones that have been light beings in other timelines. When they come into a physical body in the timeline, sometimes all their circuits don't quite coordinate as well as others. And so it can be really frustrating for them, because they cannot do the manual muscle testing. They just can't get their fingers to work, or their body sway to work, or whatever. It's very difficult. And this is one of the other reasons I'm doing this class today, for them, the super sensitives, to be able to tune in without having to use their quote unquote muscles per se. Now, with manual muscle testing, you also have to be fairly hydrated for it to work well. And if you have a neck imbalance, you have what they call subluxed, spinal issues, you need to see the chiropractor, whatever, sometimes it renders you untestable, and then sometimes you can't do it on your own. You have to have another person. And unless you have another person in your household that really, really, wants to help you, or vice versa, this can be challenging. And also, when you're in the middle of something, somewhere else, that person's not around, you can't go, hey, can you drive 50 miles here so I can test something? It's not very practical, right? Now, some folks have mentioned, using a pendulum. Nobody today on the call, I don't think, mentioned using dowsing rods, but these are tools that you can use to get a yes/no answer as well. In fact, I doused my well at my house. Unfortunately, when I was dousing for water, nobody taught me how to do it. I was just guessing. It was really, really cool. I was like, hey, there's water here. But you know what? My intention was, I'm looking for water. My intention should have been, I'm looking for a clear, clean sit silt-free pocket of water that is good for a well. That's the intention I should have made, because I found the water and they drilled there in at 200 feet, which was awesome. They found water, but it was so silty they couldn't use it. So they had to drill another 400 feet to get to the water we needed. So it's a pretty deep well, but where we live, the well wasn't that, it was going to be deep. Our neighbors had an even deeper well. So the dowsing rods is like these metal rods that you put in your hands, and you can actually make them out of like clothes hangers if you want. I bought professional ones. And they swing in or out. A yes might be an in or an out depending on who you are. Show me yes, show me no. So they go in or out depending on what you're asking. Pendulum, you've probably seen before. There's something at the end that's heavy. It could be metal, it could be wood, it could be crystal. A lot of people use crystal. When I used the pendulum initially, I couldn't get that thing to work for me. And I was really, like, being a perfectionist back then, I was not happy with that. My healer teacher said, she says, well, especially since I was thinking I was wanting to be the best student, right? Back then. So my healer teacher was like, she says, I think you're so sensitive that that the pendulum is like having an extra arm. It's like an impediment to you actually accessing the information. So I don't think the pendulum is going to really work for you, which I was really disappointed. I later found out that the different materials of the pendulum can make a difference. So when I used metal or crystal, oh my gosh, it would just jump all over the place, When I used petrified wood, on the other hand, then I would get a yes or no. But it took a while to get the answer. Like the pendulum would start swinging slowly, slightly faster, and I'm like, okay, and so every answer took forever to get. And it requires practice, quite a bit of practice. Whereas what we're going to teach you today, you don't need materials. There's no worry about, how your energy is transferring to the material. It's faster. You can be anywhere. You can be completely naked in the middle of nowhere and you can still use it. I know you guys have that picture in your mind now, right? I just want to tell you another story. Maria, she's one of our light warrior healers. She is an amazing gal. She's so helpful to so many people in our group. There's so many people I could highlight today, but I just chose a few, kind of randomly. And she is a professional healer, and she herself, as many sensitives do, had sort of, a bunch of symptoms: dizzy attacks, fatigue, closing down. Since using some of the Topocan healing techniques that we have taught, then she's able to get some very specific answers. And she says, it's given her awesome tools to work with for her clients. And so it's turbo, it's like helping, herself. And Maria studied a lot. So this is a great testimonial from Maria. So thank you, Maria, for that. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so wait, I'm gonna take a little sip of water here. Okay, so a couple things. We're going to first give you the big picture. So today we're doing a 3-step technique. It's called Focus, Feel, and Flow. The first thing we're going to have you do is focus your attention on something specific. Then we're going to have you do some feeling. And believe me, all of you can do this, so don't get overwhelmed yet, okay? This is actually fairly simple. In fact, I taught it to my patients over the last couple of weeks, and the ones that, don't do muscle testing wish they could, and every one of them could do it, which is really cool. And then the last step is we're going to have you understand the flow of things. And when you can do this, focus, feel, and flow, when you do with the focusing your attention and then feeling within, you end up being still. So people say that to still the mind, you have to do meditation, or you have to do, yoga or movement. I know Gabrielle Roth of the 5 Rhythms says, still the mind, move the body. And it's so true. Like if I'm doing 5 rhythms and I'm moving the body, not really thinking too much. If I'm skating, I'm in the zone. Sometimes I skate and think, but most of the time it's like in that moment, what, I feel where I am. So it actually stills the mind, which has huge benefits that we can't even get into today, but huge benefits, including manifesting, the positive things in your life. Huge, huge, huge. Now, when you can feel and understand the flow of things, then you actually have a sense of safety. No matter where you are, what you're doing, it's amazing, this feeling that you get. And then when you are into the flow and then you again cycle through paying attention and focusing, then there's this place, almost this place or state of being that you get to where I call solace, where everything is still, where everything is peaceful, everything's calm. Doesn't matter what happened or what you just were worried about in 2 minutes before, but in this place, you're completely peaceful, calm, and it feels good. And we've also done this with some people with really, really severe, anxiety, feeling chaotic. And within a few minutes, they were able to get to this place, which is amazing. And then when you're able to master this and do this and be in that place, you get to have that cycle of be, do, and have. In order to manifest your greatest dreams, we actually have to be able to get into that being state, that stillness state. And I got to tell you, I'm not really good at meditation. Sitting there, classical meditation, sitting there, watching my breath, saying Om, whatever, watching my thoughts. I don't know. I just couldn't do it the way, I could do it, but it didn't do anything for me. So I quit. But the technique I did here today, I feel a difference in my life. I see a difference in my life. And also it didn't help that I had a bunch of friends that meditated for 1 or 2 hours a day, and I looked at their life and I was like, well, what's so great about your life compared to my life? So I didn't have a vested interest to shift it, but being comes before you taking action. Being is that place where you're in that state, that void, that the divine can come in. And then when you do something, take an action in your life, now it's inspired action. It's not worry action, because all that emotional baggage is released. And then finally you get to receive or have, which is very, very cool. And Audrey Dent says, is this like the you feeling state? Absolutely. Yeah, Audrey. So if you already do Frank Kinslow's method, which I was going to mention a little later, of quantum entrainment, the you feeling pure awareness state, this is the same thing. This is the same feeling. The difference only is the doorway in. There's many different doorways to stillness, including meditation, including yoga, including, a lot of the different things, devotional practice. And Frank talks about this in his books. His way is a perceptual way in to stillness. And I find his way one of the most efficient ways of getting into this place. The reason I created this was because one of my students, said, I can't do it, and so I'm like, oh, I was like, okay, now what do I do? That you can't do it. So I thought, okay, I asked Source, I said, is there another way I could teach that would be this person could do? And the answer was yes. And so this is what the outcropping was. So it's just another doorway in, but I love Frank's work. I have all his books. And thanks to Frank, I know what this feeling is that we're going to get to. So this is this internal muscle testing is a little like having a hotline to the divine. You can call for help, back up any time of the day or night. Someone always answers. So you're chaotic, you go into this place, you feel anxious, you go into this place, this things start dissolving. When you're in that stillness, guess what? All realities are open to you. All positive realities of your future are open to you. When you're in chaos, when you're, depressed, when you're feeling other people's stuff, you don't feel good. What happens is that energy then is what's available to manifest your future. And we don't want that, right? We want that cleared so that you can have all options of positive realities. So if the emotional baggage is still there, no matter how little, then that's what you're manifesting from, because it's a charge. So when you release all the charge, then you have all the openings available to you, which is my vested interest, of course, of doing this practice every day. And we'll do more sophisticated versions of this at the event as well, so people can help with help them with the manifesting. So just a couple of cautions. This isn't for, winning the lottery, trying to get the lottery numbers, not because that's bad. There's nothing wrong with winning the lottery. It's just that so many of us, that is not our soul path. If it's not aligned with our divine path, it just doesn't work, and we won't get correct answers. Also because we have what we call an attachment to the outcome, like I tried to muscle test whether I was pregnant for years, and because I wanted to be pregnant, but every time I muscle tested, even with expert muscle testers, even with the arm outstretched and everything, I would get the wrong answers. We would get the wrong answers because I really wanted that outcome, and it messed up, the answers. And now I know why it wasn't meant to be, and I'm totally at peace with that, not being able to have children. So I mentor to what I call tweenagers and young people in their 20s who are what I call indigo kids, earth angels, sensitives, star seeds, that kind of thing, to help them navigate life because they're so sensitive and no one ever taught them how to do it. So I love mentoring them. It's just one of my passions. Of course, it's not, muscle testing isn't to like divorce someone necessarily, like be like, is it for my husband? It's good to divorce Harry. Again, there's that attachment, there. I would say if you're making a $5 million deal, I'd be like, well, definitely use your smarts as well, but yes, you can use muscle testing with it, but don't throw out common sense either. And it's not appropriate to use it as a lie detector test. Like when I first, demonstrated the manual muscle testing among teenagers, they were starting to freak out because they thought if their parents knew that they wouldn't be able to hide anything from their parents, right? So, and it's not there to justify things. It's just not an appropriate use of the skill. Okay, so we're going to have you get started. So hopefully you're not driving or anything like that. This is a 3-step process, and we're going to go through this a couple of times so you really get the hang of it. So right now I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to focus your attention inside your body. So for example, if, focusing your attention on the outside, feeling would be if you touch your skin, you'll feel it on the outside of the body. What I want you to do is attend to the inside of your body, like turn your feelers in. Those of you that are clairsentient, this is going to be easier for you to turn your attention in. And then the next step is feeling. So what you're wanting to do is notice any movement, vibration, maybe pulse, frequency. Some people like, oh, wow, I feel like a boom, 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 like the pulse of my heart. Some people say, I feel that, my stomach, the intestines moving. So I want you to feel in your body where you feel this. Don't worry if you don't feel a lot right now, because we're going to amplify this for you. So no judgment though, so you don't have to say, oh, I feel it too much in one area. No. We're just noticing where it is, where that movement is, what it feels like, what's the quality. And then the next one is, really just noticing the flow of the movement, the vibration. And sometimes when you notice a particular area of your body, you might notice that it shifts or not. We're not trying to make it do anything. We're just focusing our attention to the vibration, to the movement inside our bodies. Let you do that for a little bit more. So again, just notice where it is. What's the quality? Is there somewhere where it's not? That's the other thing you can notice too. And again, without judgment. And as you attend to it, notice if it shifts at all. And it may or may not. It may be just very still, undulating. For me, it feels like little waves. Okay, so you can open your eyes. All right, so this is phase 1. We haven't gotten to the muscle testing part yet, phase 1. So I want to show you just a little video I made with kind of like how I imagine it in my body, what it's like. Maybe this will help you, maybe it won't, but we're just going to go ahead and play the video now so you can just All right. So, yeah, so for me, it kind of feels like these little undulations, little vibrations. So, would love to hear in this phase one, just some feedback in the chat. What did you feel? What was it like for you? Yeah, during the video, there's no sound. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. It's just part of the stillness. Yeah, Janelle, yeah, hang on to that question. We'll answer that a little later. I forgot I wasn't supposed to be talking during the video because it cuts off my audio feed. Yeah, so give me some feedback on the vibration, the feeling, the movement in your body. Yeah, so Brian says it was in the stomach and then it left. Pulsing in the ears, Lydia. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, Marion says I felt different things in different parts of my body. Not really sure what it is. I felt a pulse throughout my body. Yep, Leslie, yeah, exactly. Something moving in the crown chakra area. Awesome. That was Janelle. In my tummy. Okay, I feel like I'm scared. That's okay. So you're interpreting it. So we don't need to interpret it. We just notice the feeling. Okay, waves of energy going clockwise. Oops, I'm missing some here. Heart and throat. Yeah, and sometimes, so what we want to do is not necessarily like label it per se, just like it's whatever it is. Okay, this feeling. I felt it. And you can definitely say if it's comfortable or uncomfortable. That's totally fine too. Some of us actually have physical pain. So we can notice what the flow is around that. Solar plexus, intestinal area, mini rocking sensation. Solar plexus, excellent. Okay, Gerinda says nothing. Okay, good. Do you know why it's good? Because we get to go to the phase two. Okay. All right, we're going to start with phase two now. So phase two is we're going to actually increase that flow and feel in your body. Now, people ask, well, what is that? What is that in the body? Well, you know, we believe that it is the energy flow or qi in Chinese medicine flow in the body that you can actually feel. There are probably different qualities of the kind of qi in your body, but just kind of like a blanket explanation, it's probably the qi or energy vital force in your body. So, of course, if you're alive, you have qi. If you're not alive, you know, if your body's not alive, I should say, you don't have qi flowing in your body. So what we're going to do is we're going to amplify this now. We're going to do this in a big way at the Supercharge Your Healing Powers event, but we're going to do this in a small way today, just so people around you don't think you're a little crazy. So I'm going to have you rub your hands together super, super fast. Fast, 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 fast. Go, go, go. Right now. And if you can't do that, your one hand is like holding something, go ahead and tap your thigh or something, or tap other parts of your body. Go ahead and do that. So tap, 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 clap, 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 rub, 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 go, 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 more, 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 more. Grinder, come on, let's go, let's go. Big, big, big. Excellent, keep going, keep going. You might be getting a little warm now. I know I am. Okay, stop, rest, close your eyes. Now feel. Go inside your body and feel. It should feel different now from before. You'll feel something inside the body. Okay, so let's get some feedback as to what that feels like now. Where did you feel it? What did it feel like? Was it bigger? Let's go ahead and put that in the chat. I know some of you were like, ooh, this feels good. I'm just going to stay here. That's okay too. Yeah, so Linda says different all over on the inside. Yeah, Maria says, I felt pulsing in my hands mainly. Yep. Tingling in the hands. That's a stomach. Tingling in the lower legs, Lois. Very interesting. That's all right, Tara. Waves in your solar plexus. Yeah, so Tara, all we did was to amplify the feeling within, that qi or energy flow, the movement within, just by rubbing our hands or tapping our feet, just really, really quickly. And then closing our eyes and then feeling inside. Alexandra says, feel my heartbeat, sort of tingling in my feet. Excellent. Good. Karina says, pounding the heart and third eye area. Amazing. Terry says, deep abdominals, sensing the heartbeat. Albert says, pressure pulses. Linda, thank you. Waves moving slowly. Excellent. Sue says stomach and then chakras like little cyclones. Awesome. Marion says she feels lighter throughout. Lydia, pulsing throughout your body. Upper stomach. Grace, thank you. Annie feels like I'm expanding. Yes, yes. Very good. Excellent. Mark says a pleasing wave. And Charlene says a calmness all over. Oh, that sounds good. Warmth, tingling. Julie. Terry says pulsing. Grinder says just feel my breathing. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Hands tingling, vibrating. Excellent. Okay. So very good. Thank you so much for your feedback, everyone. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some pre-tests. So this is going to have you turn your awareness in. And for some of you, you know, it's not going to be a big, huge sensation to start with. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have you sense inside again, inside body. Sense the vibration, sense the wave. And for some people, Gurinder, you might feel it in one small area, and that is totally okay. So after, what we're going to have you do is say the words. So you kind of just notice it, right? Notice what it feels like. Then you say it out loud if you can. Show me a yes. And immediately sense inside. Or continue sensing out inside. So go ahead and practice that. Show me a yes. And if you're driving, you can do this too. You don't have to close your eyes because you might be able to feel it even with your eyes open. That's a more advanced phase to be able to do this while your eyes are open. Now what I want you to do is do the opposite. Say, show me a no. Show me a no. Okay. So again, sense inside. This time say, show me a big yes. Sense the energy. Sense the movement. Do it again. Show me a big yes. Now say, show me a big no. Okay, yeah, so if you're ready, you can keep doing this while we get some feedback from people. So go ahead and write in the chat if you notice a difference between a yes and a no. So it does require that attention. Now, some of you will notice different things from another. So Audrey says, on yes, I feel expanded. On no, I feel compressed. Yeah. Yeah, and you also noticed your breath. You had more in-breath on the yes, and on no, a lack of breath, like you were almost holding your breath. Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. Great. Other feedback from people? Warren noticed that when he said yes, he breathed in. Warren, did you notice a difference in the flow when you said yes versus a no? Mark says yes, a directional. Brian says mini arm muscle spasms on a big yes. Okay. Sounds like some energy flowing there. On no, she felt a clenching. That was Catherine. Yes, thank you. Missy said a tighter energy in the belly. Yes, feels lighter. Okay. Janelle, of course, Janelle is one of our healers. So she's like big yes and no, big difference. Yeah. So Marion says, definitely feeling a big difference. On yes, I feel light tingling everywhere. When I asked for no, got pain in my legs and other places in my body. Yeah, so it's just kind of basically the chi or the energy flow is finer, slower. Like there's almost like a pause. So some of you did already notice, without me saying, that the breath might pause or be shallower. So Michelle, big yes, shivers. Yeah, I get that too, Michelle. I get shivers. And a big no, nothing big breath on yes, shallow breath on no. Right, yeah, yeah. So Maria, the other Maria, subtle differences. Yes, more intense pulsing. For no, it calms down, less pulsing. Yep. Now, does anybody here feel the opposite? Okay, so we're going to go over polarity reversal in a moment. Anybody feel the opposite, where you said, show me a yes, and it got more quiet, it got smaller. Show me a no, and it got bigger. That would be the opposite of what most people are feeling. Yeah, so Albert, that's interesting. Yes, you feel in the chest, no in the stomach. Interesting, yeah, so a different locational thing. I felt something similar. So when I say show me a yes, what I feel is energy moving kind of expanded and up, and it's louder to me, like it's bigger, and it's like more in my head area, my face area, my third eye area. And then when I say no, it kind of all quiets down, and it kind of concentrates more in the stomach area. It's not uncomfortable, it just kind of quiets down. And there's like a little bit there, but less in the head and neck. That's what I feel. Linda says deep breath on a yes, felt heaviness on a no. Yeah, Dorte, though, that's interesting. Yes, sparkling, also quick eye movement. She felt sparkling. And on no, everything seems still. Okay, great. So big difference, Carlene said, in the upper and lower body. No was a gut and yes was a throat. Yeah, it's very similar to what I was doing. Leslie causes me to sharply intake breath, and then like a gasp. No makes you feel like falling forward or deflating. Yep. Sometimes I'll actually hold my breath, and it's like, oh, wow, okay. Didn't even know. Yeah, so I don't have anybody that's backwards today, at least not that's admitting that. Terry Ajnira, yeah, great. I'm glad you felt a huge difference. Those of you that are very clairsentient or sensitive, actually it should work really well in you, because all you're doing is you're turning that amazing superpower of sensitivity inwards. So you feel you. So, so you're not feeling out there. Yeah, so some head nodding. Okay. Okay, so Jessica said, on yes, I feel a little anxious. On no, I would hear and feel a very stern no versus very stern. Okay, I wasn't sure what you mean by that. No sends chills down your arm. Yes gives you a warmth. Eileen, you fell asleep. That's okay. Okay. Gurinder says, yes, my body moved forward. No, moving back. Interesting. Awesome. See if you can feel the waves inside too, Gurinder. That would be really, really awesome. If you can feel or focus your attention inwards too. That's excellent though. Fast breathing. Okay. Excellent. Energy rush. Yeah. Very good. You guys are awesome. Wow. Yeah. So most of you feeling really big differences. Okay, so Mary says she's not noting a difference on the yes and no. Okay, so we do have someone, we'll just check. Julie says she might be reversed. Okay, here we go. We got some folks that might be reversed. Okay, so let's deal with that next one. And yes, it's okay to put your hand on your abdomen, Bronwyn. Thank you for the question. So reverse polarity is when the energy, now this is just a diagram depicting, it's not exactly where or how the energy is running, but it's like our energy is running backwards in our bodies. So the nervous system is a little off kilter. Now, why does this happen? Well, it can happen through severe stress. There's some people that walk around for years with reverse polarity. I think my ex-husband was one of them. Don't tell him I said that. And it was like everything that was bad luck just like seemed to happen to him, or at least that was his perception, And when I'm reverse polarity, which still happens from time to time, it's not from severe stress. It's from profound healing. When we go into an extremely fast and profound healing response, some of us, light workers tend to do that. Sometimes we can have a temporary reverse polarity, like our bodies are just trying to catch up, with the healing response. And so that can last like, minutes to hours. Now, for people that hang out like this, days and days and weeks and months and years, not so good. Not so good. Life is difficult. Like everything's a struggle. And when I'm reverse polarity, I notice I am because I will drop things. I'm a little brain foggy. I might be a little anxious, which is very unlike me. I'm usually very stable emotion-wise. I might be uncoordinated. So if I'm skating, my figure skating, that's my favorite, pastime. If I'm figure skating, I might not be able to do something that I was able to do before, like if I'm reverse polarity. So then I check. So when you're reverse polarity, that means that when you say, show me a yes, which is one of your pre-tests, to make sure that you can then test your next question you want to ask, then you get the opposite. So instead of expansion, instead of the vibration going up, it goes down. And then when you say no, then the vibration goes up, or the loudness goes up, or the flow goes up. And then, that's the opposite. So let me just show you, let me just get my whiteboard out. Oops, not that one. Hang on. Let me get my whiteboard out here and let me show you just another way. So we are going to, I'm going to show you, so say you are, this is your regular vibration, just you tuning in, you're not doing anything, you haven't exercised. Okay, show me a yes. This is what I feel. Okay, then it takes about 1 to 3 seconds to feel that, and you go back to your regular. And that can, change locations. Like you mentioned, a lot of people it changed locations. Like I tend to have it more in my head, area. When I say yes, it gives me kind of like, zoom, up in the head, sometimes in the throat area. Yeah, expansion. Yeah, a lot of people. Now, so what happens, let's go ahead and clear that. Okay, so what happens is show me a no. So you're going along, we'll make a thicker line here so you can see. Going along, here's your vibration, your internal vibration, you're feeling it, pulsing, whatever in the background. Show me a no. Within 1 to 3 seconds, this is what I feel. It kind of gets really quiet, and then it kind of goes back to baseline. Okay, can you guys see that on my whiteboard? I'm drawing on a whiteboard right now. Blank screen. Oh, that's weird. All right, well, for some reason, the whiteboard is not working. Well, it looks really good on my end. Okay, let's see if we can, okay, I'm going to try one more time here. I'm just going to change the color. Let's do something fun. Let's do pink. All right, let's see if we can get it. All right, so let's see here. So blank is better than this. Okay, so let's see. Do you see anything right now? I'm drawing waves. Show me a yes, it gets bigger. Oh, that's terrible drawing. And show me a no, it gets smaller. Okay, I have another whiteboard on here. Okay, well, we'll just have to ask technical support what it is. So what we'll do instead, let's get rid of the whiteboard here. I'll just show you in my video. Actually, let me just pause this one for a sec here. So if you can see my video down at the bottom. So as I'll go from, let's see, I'll go from this end. So, the waves are kind of like this, sometimes pretty subtle. Sometimes you have to move your body a lot to feel it. So the waves are like this. And then when I say, show me a yes, it kind of gets bigger like this. And then within 1 to 3 seconds, and then it gets back to baseline. When I say, show me a no, okay, so I'll start with my baseline like this, show me a no, and then it gets kind of quiet like this, the vibrations. And then it kind of goes back to, the regular, the average. So whether it be a healing response or a profound, stress or terrible stress, you can usually correct reverse polarity very, very quickly with this tapping technique. So what you want to do, actually, I'll just turn off my webcam for a sec here. So what you want to do is you want to find your belly button with one hand, and all of you can do it now, even those of you that don't think you're reversed, okay? So take one hand and pulse your fingertips into your belly button. Okay, just like tap, 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 tap. All right, and then we are going to tap some of the other energy centers. So keep that one tapping. Okay, that one hand, doesn't matter left or right. Now go ahead and tap your stomach. That would be the third chakra or the third energy vortex in your body. And then with that second hand, now move to your chest. Tap, 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 tap the heart, and fairly firm. Not that it hurts, but fairly firm. About 8 or 10 times. And then to your throat gently, or however hard you can tolerate. While remember, the first hand's still doing your belly button. And then you are doing the third eye. Excellent. And then top of the head. Actually, this is cut off here, the picture, but sorry. So the top of the head. So you got your belly button, top of the head. 8 or 10 times. Good. Excellent. Okay, so now let's try it again. Especially those of you that think you're backwards. So go ahead and close your eyes if you need to. Show me a yes. Say that. Show me a no. Do that one more time. Show me a yes. Show me a no. So let's get some feedback from folks in the chat, especially those that thought maybe they were backwards, whether or not they feel a difference. So Julie says much better. Thanks. Awesome, Julie. So this is one of our little problem solves that all people with, that do muscle testing have to understand and go through so that they can muscle test accurately, a yes or no. Oh, Mary says she's getting a yes on both now. You may be recalibrating. So just go ahead and wait a few minutes and you might be getting your overall baseline energy flow might be louder now. I'm sorry, my whiteboard isn't working. I wanted to show you what that was. So try it again. Say, show me a big yes and show me a big no. That's why we have the big. So it'll amplify both, make it more obvious. Terry says she can't see the comments. I think there might be a button somewhere with you guys for the chat. I am not sure actually on your what it looks like. Melissa says, now I feel nothing at all either way. Okay, so we got, let's see here. We might check, see what's going on with you, Melissa. Okay, so Leslie says, I feel the same things now, but more subtly. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Would caffeine impact the ability to do this? Let me ask. I'm getting a no. So caffeine would probably amplify the internal vibration. It might make you just have a little bit of difficulty focusing, possibly, but maybe not. It shouldn't have any effect. Now, what I did notice, the local gals here at the Green Goddess Natural Foods actually had this CBD oil chocolate. It was like $20 a bar, so it's like not cheap. But it was. I thought, well, this is really neat. I'll try this and bring it home for my husband because I think he'd like it. And what I noticed with doing like 3 little pieces on there, which was like 15 milligrams of the CBD oil, that the vibrations got very, very evident. Like my baseline vibration, I could feel much better. So it was like pretty cool. What's really interesting is that now that I know what that feels like, if I can generate that all the time now. It's really neat. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So, all right. Yes. Thank you, Patricia. Minimize the poll to see the chat. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll just reset the poll. I think that would work too, right? Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yep. So great. So a couple of folks had some problems, but okay, yeah. There's a couple other ways that you can correct polarity, well, or at least try to get the right and left sides of your body working together. And you can try this now, especially for the folks that maybe are having some challenges, is you're going to cross your legs, if you can, if you're not driving, cross your legs, or ankles rather, and cross your arms. So I'll show you how that looks. Let me just get my video back up here. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so if you can see me down the corner here, so you're going to cross your ankles, right? And you're going to cross the top part of your hand. So I have my hands forward. You're going to tilt them like your thumb down like this. Your thumb is down, and then you're going to, either way, doesn't matter, cross over and then cross under. So I do this at the office too. This helps with brain balancing, right and left sides. So you can try that and see, and then show me a big yes, show me a big no, and see if you feel a difference. So Mary said she just got some water and now is getting a yes and no. Yeah, so there probably is a minimum amount of hydration that's necessary for the energy to flow, but less so than what's necessary for manual muscle testing. So great point. Thank you so much, Mary. Yeah, so again, if you can just try it, cross your ankles, cross your arms like this. Yeah. So Julie says yes. Okay. Linda says it takes at least 10 seconds to cycle through. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, usually it's between about 1 and 3 seconds. And for whatever reason, yours might be 10 seconds right now. My sense is that as you keep working on it and using it, your feedback mechanism is just going to be much faster. It could be that the chi flowing in your body, there's a little bit of, stagnation. There's a little bit of inertia to overcome. But like I said, as you keep working on this, it's really interesting because when we get to that stillness, things automatically start to heal. This is what I was going to mention about Frank Kinslow and talking about you feeling. That's the peaceful feeling that you feel when you're in that being state. That's a natural healing state. So you have a vested interest to do that being, more often, or stillness more often, because that is a natural healing state. And over time, your chi will start to run better and faster. Yeah, so Katie says, how can I use to find out why I'm having pain in my knees? Yeah, so you can use different, the yes, no, you can ask different questions of what's causing that. You might already have a sense of what might be causing it, or you can use, the various different charts. Let me just show you, like in my Topocan healing classes, this is level 1. We have these charts, and you sort of like the emotion code, you check yes, no on, is it in column A, is it in column B, is it in chart 1, chart 2, chart 3, is it even or odd row? And usually within about 1 minute, you get to, figure it out. So maybe we can demonstrate that on you. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my camera. Thank you so much, Anna. So that can maybe make it a little easier. Okay, so Melissa said, I felt better before I did tapping, not sure what's going on. Even with crossing, I feel nauseated now. Yeah, so something might be releasing. So let me just so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a little bit, like some uses that we can do this. Thank you, Marianne. Mary says the charts are amazing. Okay, so let's do, let's see. So Katie and Melissa. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually make the intention, okay, to connect with the inner source of all knowing, So I'm going to do my pre-checks. Show me a yes. Show me a no. Okay. So, so Melissa says she doesn't feel well. So we're going to actually go ahead and ask yes, no questions to see if we can figure out a reason. So we'll actually check my charts just to see first. So, is there a reason that Melissa is not feeling good right now? I'm getting a yes. Okay. Is that related to anything in the chart? Yes. Okay. Is it related to chart 1, 2, or 3? Chart 1. Okay. So, and sometimes you need other people's help, and the reason why is because we are here on Earth to experience community. If we could just always, help ourselves, never need any help elsewhere, then what's the point of being human? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just that, that community that is being nourished, are needing to, ask for help, and that's okay. Okay, back to guide 1. So guide 1, I won't show that just because it might take bandwidth. So for Melissa, column A, B, even, odd, 1, 3, emotional. Okay, I've got, is it emotional habit, addiction, or conflict shock, German new medicine? I'm getting a no. So I'm getting emotional addiction. Emotional addiction. Okay, so is this want to heal? Yes. Okay, is this coming up for healing right now? I'm getting a yes. Do we need to know what it is? Nope. Okay, we don't. So we're going to actually use a Topocan healing technique where we just direct healing to whatever it is. Since we don't need to know anything different, then you can just say, and Melissa, you can do this out loud if you want. I now command that all emotional addictions in this lifetime or any others that can be healed now be dissolved and uncreated in the highest and best way. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm just going to double check. Does Melissa still have that emotional addiction, whatever that is, causing, contributing to her feeling funky? No. Okay. So is the reason she was feeling unwell is because this was coming up for healing or because this was a new problem? I'm getting a no, it's not a new problem. It's coming up for healing. Yeah. So some folks, especially the healer type folks, will sometimes get things coming up rapidly. And it just needs to move through. So in other words, for Melissa, my advice to her would have been, say I wasn't here, say I didn't test, would have been just do the feeling and stillness. And if you can't feel it, go ahead and jump up and down. Feel the vibration without any thought of needing to muscle test. Yes or no? Something's moving through. So as you stay in that being state, eventually whatever that is, in this case emotional addiction, will dissolve in time. What you could do to slow it down is then put any emotional overlay. Oh my God, I used to muscle test this way. I can't now. You know, this is terrible. You know, that kind of stuff. That will slow down that processing of that. So just go back into that being state and just be there. Okay. And you know how to do this, Melissa. This isn't new for you. So for you, just understand your challenge is always going to be, not always going to be, your challenge tends to be, I should say, that we value judge whatever's going on. And this is very common with all of us. And I know Melissa really well and many of my light warriors here. So that's why I'm saying this, just to do some coaching and mentoring. So instead of the, oh my God, this used to work for me and it's now not, that's terrible. You know, just understand this is a temporary thing. Just assume it's temporary and go, okay, well, I can't do it right now. So I'm just going to go back into stillness and just realize that that's where everything's going to rearrange itself, dissolve, transform. Make sense? And let's just check in for the knee pain. I'll give you an example. Is that for Katie in guide 1, guide 2? Okay, guide 1. There may be many layers, but we'll go one layer here. Column A or B, be even or odd 1, physical. Okay, infection, toxins, chemical toxins. Oh, we're getting chemical toxins. What percentage of your knee pain is related to chemical toxins? 50, 40, 30, 20, about 20%. Do we need to know what kind of chemicals? No. Okay, is there anything else we need to know? I'm getting a no. So Katie and anybody else can do this command as well. Go ahead and say, I now command these chemical toxin energies be dissolved and uncreated in the highest and best way. And all the holes filled with love and light. Thank you. Okay, so let me just check. Do you still have the chemical toxin frequencies? No. Is it removed? Yes, completely. Yes. Okay, good. So Katie, just feedback with us. I know that's just one layer, whether or not that made a difference. Okay, so let's move on. So now proxying, auto-proxying is when you're actually running other people's energy through your body. Now with the body code and motion code, we do that on purpose. That's conscious proxying. So you can take, basically be that person and do all the muscle testing through you. Now, some sensitives are like, I don't want to be that person if they have pain. I understand that. I get it. It doesn't feel comfortable. So the alternative to that, if you're doing, motion code muscle testing, is go ahead and make that intention to connect to this, the source of all creation for your answers, not necessarily proxying for the other person or subconscious, and that usually is good enough. But for some people, they automatically proxy for others. Those of us that are what we call light warrior sensitive souls can sometimes be on a mission to do healing of groups of people, and other times it's not even supposed to be our job. So sometimes it's like, we're healing from Mother Earth or mass consciousness or alternate selves in an alternate timeline, that kind of thing. So this is a more challenging situation. Sometimes you're supposed to do it. Sometimes you're not. If you're not, then we can go ahead and use the guides and Topocan healing to, heal whatever it is causing you to have that tendency to take on other people's stuff. If it is for your highest and greatest good to proxy, that means that's part of your job, but we can make your job much shorter. You don't have to be proxying for days and days or hours and hours. Like, for example, this morning I found out that I was proxying for the light being collective. Okay, hint, hint, Marion. So the light being collective. And so it was, the answer was that I had to understand that we had to concentrate these high vibrational energies from the light being collective into our chakras. And so the discomfort was related to knowing that we had to do that. But that was a little complex and beyond what we're really working on today. But just so you know that this happens. And so if you have that tendency, what will happen is when you say yes, and yes is a yes, no is a no. So yes is loud, no is quiet. When you say your name, my name is, okay, so in my case, my name is Karen Can, you'll get actually a no response. That's how you know you're proxying. So if a yes is loud, no is no, and then, so you did your pretest, right? Then you say, my name is, use your name, and then if it's low, it's a no, that means you're proxying for another. So what you can do is couple of strategies. Say your name out loud, 3 times. My name is Karen Can, my name is Karen Can, my name is Karen Can. Okay. The other is if that doesn't work and you don't get a yes, then you can say, I now command that Karen Can stop proxying immediately, and that all underlying reasons be healed and resolved in the highest and best way. And by the way, I'm going to give you the handouts here, so you don't have to furiously write this. Forgot to tell you that earlier. So sometimes I'll be muscle testing as if I'm muscle testing somebody else, because a yes and a no is fine, but I am not me. So in order to muscle test me, I will use my name as if I'm a third person. So is Karen Can proxying because da 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 da? Is it in the guides? Yes, no, etc., etc. And the third is if you're proxying, you might need to get some expert help, from somebody who knows how to handle that situation, especially the sensitive souls. Now, some of you have noticed some discomfort coming up as you pay attention. Sometimes that is, just like with Melissa, the healing response. It's starting to come up. So what I would say for you as you're listening to me, and you don't need to look at the slides necessarily, is go within, feel the vibration, and just notice those areas. Don't judge it. Don't go, oh my God, it's painful. Just notice those areas. Notice the frequency. Just pay attention to those areas, because the more you're in that being and stillness, the faster this stuff actually resolves. And some of you process very fast. So a lot of things may come up right away. Okay, so let's ask for those others that are feeling queasy, uneasy, whatever. Is it a healing response or something else? Okay, healing response, I'm getting a yes. Is there any, person that's getting sort of interference or attacked or anything like that right now? I'm getting a no. Is that really true? I'm getting a yes. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of you sensitive souls are getting a healing response. Woo! Okay, so in this case, you definitely want to drink water. And then if you can, just stay in the being state. Don't worry about doing the yes or no for now. Yeah, just give yourself a break. These are some examples of what you can use the yes, no for. You can check how happy are your organs, how happy is your hormonal balance. What's happening lately is the hydration mineral levels keep being a little funky because we have ascension, higher energy upgrades of the world. And then sometimes we have what I call ascension glitches, where suddenly one day, my minerals aren't processing as well, and I can feel it as discomfort in my low back, for example. And then I go ahead and correct that. And usually within a few minutes, it starts evening out, and it's kind of cool. Okay, so a quick little poll, just asking you, what would you want to use your muscle testing for? If you got good at this, if you, kept it up. Actually, I'm going to do, since we're here and so many of you already, in my tribe, we do group healings together. I'm going to go ahead and do a healing for you guys as well, just to help ease the detox symptoms that are coming up for you. So we're going to go ahead and we ask the guide teams to go ahead and erase all necessity for any detox symptoms, help them resolve quickly and easily in the highest and best way. Anything that needs to heal to help with increased comfort, if that's allowed by source, be done now. Good, thank you for the poll, guys. All right, let me see if that's done. I'm getting a yes. Yep, so quite a few of you said definitely 40% about testing. Underlying issues, what's wrong, testing, see what your soul mission is, lifetime, how well I'm accomplishing it. Great, I'm glad to hear that. Testing which therapies which would be helpful, other things, testing career job choices, what foods are healthy, which are not. I get a 0 for that one. Probably because all you guys are probably really good at that already. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, so we'll just publish those results for you to look at. And again, you can minimize those. Just want to share with you Diana here, who is an extraordinary healer. She's also one of my light warriors. She's using the Topcan guides as long as with her own healing technique. And she's just found that her healing sessions have basically turbocharged and her clients are experiencing even better results. And she's having a lot of fun. And the cool thing is that she feels better, from her autoimmunity. I know I do from my autoimmune symptoms as well from the past, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. So thank you, Diana, for that lovely testimonial. Okay, and just I want to share with you, and of course, please put in the chat after the clearing I did just now, see if you notice a difference. So just going to spend just a few moments just telling you a little bit about how to learn more. So the Supercharge Your Healing Powers program is a live in-person event close to me, about half an hour away from Lake Placid and Lake Clear, New York. My friend Kathy Holmeyer is also an energy healer extraordinaire. Herself actually is the co-owner of the Lake Clear Lodge and Resort, and she specializes in nutritional energetics. So I am so fortunate to be able to do this workshop an event here at Kathy's because we know we're going to be fed well and all the food is going to be charged. Like, what other place can you go to in the world that has an energy healer making your food? Like, seriously. Anyway, so the Supercharge Your Healing Powers, September 7th to the 9th. And during this event, we're going to be working on aligning your being. So we're going to do a lot more work related to what you got today in that being state, because there's amazing things that you can do from that being state. And we're going to be able to align you with your soul's mission and know what your soul experience is. Like, why did you come on earth? What did you ask to experience? Thank you, Mary. Your queasiness feeling gone. Thank you so much. Terry says, definite difference. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will be posting the slides in just a moment. Thank you, Eileen, for that reminder. The other thing we're going to do is access more of your intuition gifts. We're going to do some more advanced training on intuition outside of, necessarily muscle testing, and also your healing power. So I'm going to show you one of my healing techniques that I've never actually publicly taught. So I'm really excited to do that. And then the third thing was we're going to help you activate your manifesting potential. This wasn't even going to be part of the Supercharge Your Healing Powers program, but since from me coming back from Fiji in the Money Mastery retreat with the Wellness Leaders Academy, those are my mentors, it's come full circle, this understanding of that being state and how to manifest easier, faster. And so we're going to activate some of that for you. It's going to be super, super exciting. So in the end, what you're going to get out of it is a state of a newfound presence, accessing your inner power more than before, and really your understanding of your sense of purpose. And in doing all of that, becoming more and more whole. Yes, thank you everyone for your, Linda says the class was fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you. Melissa, thank you, Karen. I knew the emotion issue before you spoke, was able to really allow the healing to stay the flow. This is a great program for all. Thank you. I feel better. Yay. That's awesome. Katie, if you're still here, we'd love to hear back from you as well. That would be awesome. Yeah, so we're going to do some more advanced intuitive development. Again, the remote healing I mentioned at the event, something I haven't taught probably before. And this is going to be very, very interesting. We're also going to do your soul mission matrix and your soul experience template. So your soul mission is, what did you come in this world to do or be, who you are to serve? Some of you already know this because I've done this for you in one-on-one sessions. Your soul experience, which I don't have a picture of here yet, a pretty picture anyway, is basically figuring out what the 1, 2, 3, or 4 things you asked to experience in this lifetime, which is different from your soul matrix. So understanding, for example, my soul experience was compassion. So my soul asked to experience compassion while in a physical body. So the universe set up my life with circumstances so that I was able to, or not, choose to feel self-compassion and receive compassion from others, and to be compassionate of others, So your life circumstances are really going to be changed in your perspective once you know what your soul experience is. So I have some bonuses for people coming to the program. And actually, let me go ahead and let me see where that button is. Yeah, let me just put that up for you. So folks that are on the call, I'm just going to, yep, there it is. I'll put the offer up here. So folks that are on the call who aren't already coming to the event, I'm giving you a link, a special link here for 50% off the 3-day training. So it's whatever that is, 2 something instead of 495, me and my mental math. So as a bonus, you get actually a student portal, and you have pre-accelerator trainings. We actually are going to have 4 modules here of extra training that you get before you even come to the event, including how I do soul typing, how to figure out whether you are an earth angel or whether you're another type of sensitive soul, cleaning up your God team, make sure all your spirit teams are nice and divinely 100% in line with love, light, and truth, and a little bit more work on what we're doing today. Also, this bonus is still valid right now. You actually get a personalized 7-point abundance assessment from me. This basically has you create your vision of what you want in the future. And then I do an assessment as to what is preventing you from having that right now. Is it negative blocks? Is it positive blueprints you need? Or do you just have to wait, which is universal timing, which is what we want. We want 100% here, number 3. Or maybe your vision is not aligned with your divine path, or maybe you need to know more. So it gives you at least a framework to know why you don't already have what you want. And this is, I do this one by one. You get it in writing, these percentages, before you come to the event. Yeah, and I also check your Topocan healing power levels to make sure you're attuned to Topocan healing. If not, we do an attunement, and we check your power levels out of 10. Usually it's, between 5 and 10. And after as well, we do an assessment after. So yeah, so all this is about $1,000 extra of bonuses there. This is a beautiful picture taken by Kathy Holmeyer's son, I believe, Jürgen, who's a very amazing photographer. So this is the Lake Clear. This is outside of Kathy's place. And there's a beautiful vibrational lake vortex here as well that you can get lots of positive energies from. We're going to be doing some work in the water and outside as well. So this is inside the retreat center. There's it's artisanal, furniture and wood. It's very cozy. We'll be doing some meals here as well. And there's Kathy. There's Kathy doing some teaching. Kathy's going to be doing some nutritional energetics teaching during the mealtime. We'll also have her do one of the classes as well for us on her specialty. Here's some other views of the property. This is where we're going to be doing some exercises out here. Also morning yoga. The lake is fairly shallow right here, so we're actually going to be dunking in the lake, weather permitting, which you guys will help me with, right? If those that are coming with some weather magic. Yep. So for more information, you can go to superchargeyourhealing.com. But remember, it's the link here on this call that gives you that automatic 50% off. And the cool thing is when you register, if you want to invite other people, you actually get a special code to do that as well. And if you're not already connected to the Light Warrior Network, and this is our freebie Facebook page, our group, you can go ahead and connect with us. Yeah, would love to have you join our group. We have some weekly things that we'd like to do and help each other and support each other. Yeah, so I'd love to have some questions now. So we have a few minutes left here, and yeah, so lots of people saying they want kind of all of the above as far as the poll, what they would want to do. Yeah, Eileen said she would love to be able to walk without a walker, pain or disease. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll hold the space for you to do that. Picture you doing that. We're going to do some of that, magical manifesting stuff at the event. But Eileen, I would say for you, definitely go into that being state as often as you can. And some of us that are, disabled or very tired or whatever, that's the one thing you have that's available to you at all times. Terry says, love, love, love your teachings with some hearts. Aw, thank you. Julie Baltras, very cool. Thank you, Dr. Karen. Joan, thank you. I'm vibrating. I feel so clear. Yay. Jeannie Sophia, sweetheart, thank you. You're very welcome. Excellent. Linda says this class was fab. Thank you so much. Chuffed to bits to have learned this. I don't know what that means. Is that a UK thing? Chuffed to bits. Sherry says, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Eileen says, wow. Jenny says, love it. Thank you all. Katie says, thank you for clearing my knees. I'm grateful to know what's causing my knee pain. Well, that's one piece anyway. I'll do further muscle testing to determine the source of chemical toxicity. You may not need to do that actually, but it might be helpful to know whether it's continuing. That is true, because that might be something in the past. You can even check with muscle testing how long ago it was that you got it. It could have been 10 years ago. Anna says, thank you for the healing. I was vibrating too strongly for comfort. All is well now. Excellent. Your video did not show muscle testing prep. Yeah, that's all internal, Martin, the things that you were feeling inside. So the video was just a little video just to show what it kind of feels like inside the body, like things, little things vibrating, the chi, the energy in your body. Beautiful black and white picture of you. Alexandra says, put it back on. That's funny. Thank you. Okay, Terry's doing some work here on Katie. Okay, let me see. Where's the picture? All right. That was from Marcus Bird, who's my mentor, who also on the side actually does photography. It's his hobby. All right. Mary says, less anxious, but I am. It feels it's not my stuff. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes, so Maria, definitely going even within, see if even, just let it be there, So, one of the things that I kind of realized this whole technique was because, and many of you know this story, but some of you don't, is that I watched a very scary movie. And when I watched a very scary movie, I could not sleep for 3 days. I mean, I couldn't fall asleep for 3 days. It took me hours and hours and hours to fall asleep. So the second time I had to watch it again, but I watched the sequel. And of course, you'd think, smart, don't watch scary movies. But no, I had to watch it, right? So I'm in bed. And thank you, Mary. Mary says amazing as always. So I'm in bed and I can't sleep. And I'm trying meditation, I'm trying breathing, I'm trying all these techniques. Does not work for me, right? This is years ago. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to freaking be scared. You know what? I'm just going to be there. So I would say, Maria, just let it be there, okay? And go, what does it feel like in my body when I'm anxious? In my case, terrified. So what does it feel like when my body's terrified? So I went inside and started feeling it, and without being scared of being scared, and I'm just going to feel scared. I'm just going to be freaking scared. Forget the meditation, forget trying to calm down, forget the breathing. So I went within and I was like, oh my gosh, the vibration was huge. I felt like my heart was going to beat, like the bed, like it was vibrating, like zoom, 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 all through my body. It was incredible. And I was like, wow, that's what it's like to be scared. So I was just being there with it without judgment. And you know what? I fell asleep in like 5-10 minutes. And I woke up the next day and going, whoa, I didn't even try. And I was, because my mind was so busy attending to what was within without judgment. I didn't have any emotional overlay. I wasn't seeing the scenes of the scary movie over and over and over again in my mind. I would just pay attention to inside my body and boom, I was asleep. So yeah, Linda says that was a UK thing that she said. That's hilarious. Yeah, so try that, Maria. Let us know. Thank you, Bon. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, JK, we won't have time to do those, but I would say definitely start with the emotion code now that you have this new skill. And there's a lot of things that are emotional. I would start with there. That's a free book you can get. Yeah, so we're going to send you, actually going to give you the handout right now. So let me go and do that. Okay, so give me some feedback on that. And you should see the handout screen now. Maria says, thank you. Wonderful class. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Janira, thank you so much. Generous gift. Thank you so much. Excellent. Yeah. Leslie, there is going to be a replay. So if you came in late, no worries. You'll have 2 weeks to watch the replay. Martin says, can you hold something on the body? Test yes or no? Yeah, great question. You absolutely can. You just make that intention. You just hold it to your body. Say, this is for my highest and greatest good. And then you'll get a yes or no. Yeah. Gayatri says, there's a replay. Yes, there is. That'll be emailed to you directly. Awesome class, Christina says. Other than I couldn't figure out the chat. Sorry about that. Lois says, thank you. Okay. Yes, Susan, there is a replay. Excellent. Okay, guys, so our time is up again. There is a handout that you can download. You should see that pop up right about now. And you'll also, I believe, on the replay, be able to get that 50% off for the ticket as well as the Supercharger Healing Powers. We're quite a bit over half full now. So we have some spots left, and so if you are thinking of coming, please do, especially if you're driving distance from us, and Canada, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Michigan, you guys come on. We'd love to have you. Terry says, where are the charts you mentioned? Thank you in advance. Charts, actually, Terry, that's part of the Light Warrior Advanced Healing Program. Package B. Let me see if I can put that in here real quick. Lightwarriorhealing.com. So lightwarriorhealing.com, package B has, it's a very comprehensive program where we go through not only what's common with sensitive souls, doing healings and clearings throughout, I think, 8 modules, something like that. Then in package B, there's the Topocan Healing Level 1 training, where you get to learn about the other types of muscle testing that you can do. Of course, this will always, what we learned today is going to amplify that. And then you get the charts as part of your student portal. And then we update these charts as I get hints from source that they need to be updated on a regular basis, usually quarterly or so. Michelle says, thank you. See you in a month. Yay, Michelle. Woohoo. Okay, great. All right. So the replay will be available pretty soon, and you'll get an email on that. It's good for 2 weeks, as well as the 50% off coupon is good for that time as well. And again, if you register, your friends and family will give you the special code, so you can also register them as well. Actually, you can register them right on the same, I believe on the same engine. So that's the Eventbrite engine. The superchargerhealingpowers.com is my website, just to give you the gist of, what we're going to be doing. But that one does not have that special code. So you want to go to the one that I gave you today. And then you can, like I said, you can use that same link that I gave you today if you're registering family and friends. But I just ask you not to publicly, post that link, of course, on social media. Thanks. All right, guys. Love you all. Thanks so much. Bye. Have a great day.